Everything you want is on the other side of fear. I really don't want to drive through Bolougne again. Good morning from Bolougne. I woke up in the air this morning. Thought I'd try and get out quickly, thinking that I would probably be able to get out with the 10 euros I spent to be there, but no. I've driven into Bolougne this morning. I found a car park on Park for Night, which is no longer free, but again, nothing at all like UK prices. So I've paid like 3 euros to stay there for 5 hours. The plan is to do the cathedral. I'd really like a coffee, and I have walked past some coffee shops. The shops here are open, which is amazing. It's the first time I've come on this trip somewhere where there's definitely stuff to do. I'm gonna have to walk in the shade because I can't see anything. So my first impressions are, it's very much like my hometown Hull, which is not nearly as bad as its reputation. It certainly seems so far to be the kind of town where you could just buy anything you do need, which if you're a van lifer, that's incredibly useful when you don't really have that like static address. I'll tell you what, getting used to driving with other like right of way signals is still a learning curve, and it's going well, but it is taking a bit of just breathe Debbie, just breathe Debbie. Yeah, it's definitely tiring. Definitely tiring. Definitely a learning curve for the nervous system. You want to do these things, you've got to be that person. Put yourself out there. You've got to be willing to endure the difficulty and the challenge of some things. But that's the only way to do it. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. But the only things I really regret in my life are the things that I didn't do or didn't say. And that sometimes still weighs, messy. That still sometimes weighs really heavily on me. Then you've got to try and do better, don't you? If you're inspired by this trip and you're thinking of doing it, please don't panic and think you need something really fancy. I have, so it's November 2025, I have an iPhone 11 that no longer updates, and it's really glitchy. And I've driven here using the Google Maps app, which is free on that phone. I'm on O2, I'm on a really low data package, and I did look to upgrade it before I came, but they were really not good offers. It was like good for 6 months, and then after that you went up to the full price. So for like the next year you could pay like £44 a month, and I was just not having any of that. And now I'm just walking up. There's 2 things I'm going up here to see. I can't remember what they're called now. I've obviously in a part right at the bottom of the town, and I've got to walk all the way up. So here on my own, different language. Like, I got to pick my battles. Battling myself to park in the centre over town. I don't need to. It's not a battle I'm picking today. It's a battle I might have won, but a battle I'm not picking nonetheless. I hope you're enjoying this road trip through France with me. I hope, if anything, it's giving you confidence that you can do stuff like this. I'm a girl from Hull. And yeah, I've been a camper vanner for years. I have driven in Europe before, but if I can do it, you can do it. The absolute worst that happens is something goes wrong and you ask for help. That is the absolute worst, and that hasn't happened to me yet. It's a bit of a funny moment there, so I've just walked past loads of work going on down there, and you're like walking up and you're seeing the Basilica. It looks really beautiful, and then they're playing Eminem, Slim Shady. So that's not the soundtrack I probably would have gone with. I might have gone with something like Einaudi or Interstellar style, but quiet in here because I don't know if it's a place you speak really. maps on the floor as well, which really help you and give you a guide. And you've got to have your backpack on your front or on your like side. But I just thought mine's pretty heavy, so I didn't want to have it just on one shoulder. Yes, I'm not being organised to wear my backpack this way. I'm not gonna lie, I am slightly worried about getting lost. I don't know if that happens day or not. I also really need the toilet. There's a toilet outside the Basilica. But in France, their public toilets are all like electric, kind of like we have on trains, where you like it's like a digital button and you hit the door to lock. And at work, I once got locked in a toilet, like in the whole of the girls' toilets, not a cubicle. So I was like banging on the door, and no one could get the door open. I was just locked in the toilets. The heating was on full blast as well. I had to wait for the caretaker to come back on site, then get like a hammer and a chisel and like knock the lock out basically. Yeah, ever since then I hate going to a public toilet. It's funny because actually helping people in that situation, so like with fears and phobias, it's like kind of like the bread and butter of my job, and I know a bunch of people that can sort this out for me, and I still haven't done anything about it, and that was about 7-8 years ago. So that's a really long way of saying I don't like going to public toilet. So I've just had some lunch and walked past some of the shops and found a really cool shop that had loads of stuff. I quite like just wandering around shops sometimes. I also haven't checked my phone, but I'm assuming that this is the way back. I feel like I walked past this street on the other side, down there. Campervanner, you know that water is like an elixir. You can take loads with you, but you go through it. You go through it drinking, eating, cleaning, and I'm getting to the point where I've used more than half of it. Now don't get me wrong, I've only got the rest of today, tomorrow and the day after to get through, but at the same time, my park up for tonight, it doesn't look like it's that close to anything in particular, so I don't want to have to like feel like I've got to get out and go get water and stuff. So when I went into the Intermarché shop, and I came out, it was only like 3 minutes away from there. It was so like peaceful and quiet. I can't do this for like 8 hours. I looked on the app, and there's a campervan spot, or like a specific motorhome spot in the next village along, so I've just parked up there. Yeah, when I say it's not pretty, it's just like a gravel car park, but it is for campervanners. Looks alright. It's a specific motorhome stopover, no facilities, no amenities, that's fine, I'm self-sufficient, close to the beach, well off the beaten path, so I'm really, really quite happy about it. It is my kind of park up, because this was a possibility and I was definitely up for the challenge of finding it. Who wants to stay in a really beautiful, peaceful car park where no one's going to bother you, when you can come to the beach and hear the waves? Oh, I'm so happy I made that choice. This morning, driving through Bolougne, like it was fine. A bit nerve-wracking sometimes, but absolutely fine. And it wasn't super busy, but lots of cars, lots of people. I am absolutely one for the quiet life. You know, life's been stressful for everyone, me included. I don't need that extra stress. So many. Again, I'd like to give you some information about these. I don't have any. The amount of fishing nets here is unreal. Who would have thought I could drive myself here? Eh? Not me. I think people come up here and go in. I'm not doing that. I wonder what is actually inside it though. If it goes into like the cliff, like the sand underneath, or if it's meant to go into the building. There's actually some like French army soldiers behind me. I just looked around and saw loads of stuff. Thought, oh, that looks cool. And then I'm assuming the French army and they're in all the camouflage. Definitely one of them. Exhibitions. Join me next time when I finally make it into the museum that was closed on day 2 and somehow accidentally stumble onto a military